Good evening everyone. Myself Shan Banerjee and I'm again back with my economics classes. So yes, as I promised the last day, I'm no more with Palampur. I am here with some new story, that is I'm here with the second chapter of our class 9. So basically our CBSE class 9 NCERT book have the second chapter as People as Resource. And as you can see here, I have written already there chapter number 2, People as Resource, as class 9 second chapter. So we are going to start a story about what do you understand by people as resource. Basically, there is a very common proverb. We commonly say as population is an asset rather than a liability. Now what is asset and what is liability? Asset means whatever I own is my asset. My ring is my asset, my house is my asset, my car that I have is my asset. So whatever I own is my asset. And what is my liability? The thing that I am liable to pay back is my liability. Suppose I had borrowed some wristwatch from you, and that wristwatch was your asset or is your asset, but I had borrowed that from you. That means I am liable to pay you back your wristwatch after this entire day. So liability is what you are bound to pay back, and asset is whatever you own. Basically, in geography, in economics, in every social science, you might be hearing people always say population. That's always a liability or a burden for the country. But economics says some different story. It tells a good manager or a good government is that government that turns those huge population into their asset rather than liability. China is a developed country with plentiful number of population. It's the most populous country in the world, but still has become the developed country. What is the core reason behind that? A big question mark arises. The main answer behind this question is China's government has made Chinese population turn into their asset, their productive asset. And now those population they are living in China is been continuously day and night working and is turning the raw materials into final output and is producing a lot in the country. It ultimately helps that country, China, to increase its GDP. Therefore, we can easily say that population is not always a burden for the country. Rather, it might be also converted into an asset. Now, my question to all of you is, how can the population of the country be converted into an asset? To understand this answer, we had to come across few basic topic of this particular chapter. Some preliminary idea we must always have about two things. What do you understand by human capital? What do you understand by human capital? And the next one is, what do you understand by people as resource? The heading is people as resource, but we are going to understand our main topic of discussion, that's people as resource, what that actually means, by understanding what human capital is actually. To understand what human capital is, you need to understand that human capital is a stock of skill, as well as productive knowledge that is embodied within a human being. If you consider me as a human capital, or if I consider myself as a human capital of the country, then I must say that I should be embodying, I should be having some knowledge that should be acquired by me. I should develop my efficiency. I should develop my skill. So if I get some skill embodied in me, if I have some knowledge that is acquired by me, as well as if I embody myself some efficiency, then I can consider myself as human capital for the country. Why, sir? To understand human capital, is it something difficult for me, class 9 students? Yes, I can understand. Basically, up to class 9 chapter number 1, you have an idea about what capital is. The word capital means produced means of production. That means there is something that is being produced and ultimately helps in the further production process. It's considered as capital. So in our example of chapter number 1, we have always considered that machines are the human capital. Every each machines are then been produced by human beings, and ultimately those machines are helping us to produce something else. So all these machines are known as human capital. But here in this particular chapter, we are about to read human capital. That means when an individual human being acquires knowledge, gets themselves filled with efficiency as well as skill, then that individual can also be used in producing something else. That's why we can also consider ourselves as human capital when we acquire knowledge and when we develop skill and efficiency. So human beings can also be converted into some human capital if they help in the further production process. So the entire population of the country is not considered as human capital. That's because out of the entire big population of our India, we have very few number of educated individuals who is acquiring knowledge. We have very less skillful individual. We are also having individual with least efficiency. If our country can manage our country's population and convert them into some human capital, then only our entire country can achieve the pathway of development. So each country's objective is to achieve development. To achieve the main goal, that is development, each government is working in their own spheres, in their different ways. Now, if a government is a good, efficient government, then it would always try to make its entire population converted into human capital. And how to convert the entire big population of the country into human capital? You just need to invest in three things. You need to invest in education, you need to invest in training, as well as you need to invest in medical facilities, that is the health facilities. So basically a country needs to invest in these three parameters, in these three things. One, if the country is having many number of educational opportunities, then the country's population can easily acquire knowledge. If the country's government can provide an easy on-the-job training and off-the-job training, which in details will come later, basically if the government can provide training to the people, then they can develop in themselves some skill, and a good labor becomes an efficient labor, efficient worker, if and only if proper medical and health facilities are provided to them. So if the country is having plentiful number of schools, number of colleges, number of universities, they can easily get population, they can easily get education from there. The population of the country can even get a good training facility if the government itself provides many training houses, providing training to all of them. The country's people can be even efficient enough if they are provided with good medical as well as health benefits. That means if the number of nursing homes, number of hospitals, number of pharmaceuticals, good number of companies with number of variety of medicines, if it's developed in the country, then automatically we can make the people health secure. So this education, health as well as training, if is provided by the government to every of its population, then they can easily be converted into human capital for the country. And you all can say that human capital, if increases in the country, then the country's production capability increases. And if the country's production capability increases, the country's GDP also increases. That is, the country's entire output production also increases. When the country can produce more amount of output, then the country can easily achieve development. It's just a flowchart. It's just a garland which is having each flower tied in a same string. First, the country had to make its population turn into human capital. More human capital will lead to more production. More production of output will lead to more number of sale. More sale will help the country to earn more income. More income means the country can achieve development as well as growth. So if you want to make your country turn into some developed country, you need to invest in three things. Number one, education. Number two, training. And number three, the medical facilities or the medical care. These three things are highly required to turn your population into human capital. Understood? We are coming across to the last topic, that is the ultimate topic of our discussion. What do you understand then by people as resource? People as resource are a way of referring to the entire population in which in which the people of the country have existing productive skill as well as abilities. Now, point to be noted, my dear. People as resource is a way of referring to the country's population. Which population? Those who are having the existing productive skill. The existing productive skill. That means if I from very childhood days acquire knowledge, if I can develop my skill, if I become efficient worker, then only for me the country will get some benefit. For me the country can produce something new. Then I will be producing something new. That means I am becoming people that can be considered as resource for the country. That is known as people as resource for the country. I guess my words are very clear to all of you. The second thing is, they must be having some existing abilities also. Yes, the number of doctors, the number of engineers, the number of teachers, the number of professionals, the number of each different profession with plentiful number of skills that India has been gifted with is actually making our India turn into a good, valuable country where our human brains, our India's brains are so fast, they are having a very good efficiency and very good skill that they are being taken from the different other countries. All the developed countries are hiring Indian workers as because they know that every Indian workers or most of the Indian workers are having a good skill. They have been acquiring a good knowledge. They have been much more efficient than any other workers. That's the reason why our people are been there working throughout the world. That's the reason how we have become a great partner or a great unit in this entire global village. That's the way how you can convert your country's population, turn into the resource for the country. So always the word population explosion might be destructive for the country can even have a change. This change our economic second chapter will show you, in which we all will be converting ourselves into some productive resource for the country, and we will be once much more productive for the country that can be helpful for the country to consider us as people as resource. So I guess you can understand very nicely that population is not always a liability. You can never consider always the population to be the liability of the country, as because population can even be turned into a valuable asset for the country. That's an example is China. Our Chinese government was very efficient, in which China's government has provided education. It has given some good training. It has even given some good number of opportunities, that is good healthcare opportunities, that have helped this particular Chinese people turn their country into some developed country. So it's my honest request to all of you, all my class 9 students, that the education that your parents are providing you, that the education and the skill that you are developing within yourself should not always be comprised or should not always be having a periphery of your book. You should develop yourself in acquiring knowledge whatever you can. You are having a very nice medium nowadays. I guess you have understood that your entire school have come to your mobile. That's the way how you can make some positive impact on yourself. You can scroll all some important knowledgeable items that you find in internet, and you can acquire skill, you can acquire knowledge, and even once a day will come when we can consider you as a people as resource for the country. That's all for today. A very wonderful beginning of the new month. I assure you that this particular people as resource won't be taking that much amount of time. If you work with me, not only 100%, rather by giving 200% along with me, then only we can successfully complete second chapter. And before leaving you all, I would like to request all of you to just go through the question and answer of chapter number 1. Though I have started chapter number 2, I must assure that all the questions of chapter number 1 and all the answers of the chapter number 1 will be discussed in a very elaborative way in my next videos. So now, those who have still not subscribed my channel, please do subscribe my channel, and if you like my video, don't forget to subscribe as well as share, and it's completely free. Just stay happy, stay connected with my economics classes. Till then, bye bye.